Good morning, Vikings. I am Pastor Joe Fox, and all is right in my world. How about you? Sun's not even over the tree yet. All right. Got a communication the other day from one of y'all, and I have seen in various forums and various comments the question, why would I need to bug out? So many people confuse, terms are important, right? Terminology is important. And people say, I'm already bugged out. No, you're not. Talked about this before, but it needs to be talked about some more, evidently. I'm already bugged out. I'm in my bug out location. No, you're not. You're in your living location. You're in your retreat, perhaps. Your prepper retreat, your survivalist retreat, something like that. But you're certainly not in your bug out location, because the moment you occupy your bug out location, you now have to identify another one. Hopefully you've already done that. But you have to designate another one as the bug out location, because you're here. If you're here, you're not bugged out. You're here. You live here for however long you live here. And so, you know, I live in a really cool bug out location. That's what people think. No, I live on my retreat. Some of y'all have been here. I think we got it going on. Multiple sources of water, isolation, food production, tribe, security, solar power, buildings designed so that, if there is no electricity or municipal water, which we don't have any coming onto the property anyway, but, if all that goes away, no problem. We'll just handle it in stride. You know, Outhouses, composting, toilets, stunt. I mean, just everything. It just, we're here, man. And this is where we plan to remain. Plan A. Plan A should always be to remain where you are. If your plan A is to bug out when something happens, you need to move now. You need to change your job now. Plan A should never be to bug out, and still you need to have a bug out plan. Why? I'm living in paradise, man. I'm nestled in the Ozark Mountains with everything I could possibly need. Why do I need a bug out plan, PJ? Well, 12 reasons. 13 if you take the first one, that's a freebie. A dozen reasons you may have to bug out from your current location. I'm not going to say bug out from your bug out location. That's ridiculous. The first reason, which is a freebie, so we won't count it as a number one, even though it's the first. Ooh, we could write a philosophical paper on that. It's because I told you so. You're not the boss of me. I certainly am not the boss of you. You have free will, and I am happy to see people exercise free will. But I've been on this earth for over half a century. I have experienced a lot of things. And I think my advice in many things is pretty good. My wife and I have a little running commentary we do on the good advice we have given people that they have ignored, and then what ensued after that. But I get it. That's not good enough for you because you're a free thinker. Cool. So you think you live in the perfect place and you would never have to bug out, and you just can't be bothered to come up with a couple alternate places to go to and ways to get there and ways to support the logistics and things like that. So the first reason that you may have to leave your little slice of paradise, I got a list right here. Forest fire. Oh, that could affect a lot of people. You see, it could be a forest fire now, like it's going on all over the West. If a billionaire can't save their house, what makes you think you're going to be able to save yours? Or it could be forest fires in the aftermath of some horrible event where the population is reduced, to either groveling in the mud or, to a tenth of their numbers, whatever. forest fires get burning and there's nobody to go put them out. Forest fire could make you move. Now here's the thing. If you have to bug out, something has happened to force you to do that, right? So the world, your world at least, is in chaos already. Potential chaos. You're trying to minimize the chaos by coming up with plans now, plans that you put action towards now, so that the chaos for you and yours is minimized, right? But if you've got to bug out, things are already bad. Well, you know, Murphy, right? When Murphy shows up, my phrase is he usually brings friends, right? It's not just one thing that happens, it's multiples of things, and they're kind of connected. First, second, third order effects. Boom, 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 boom. They start building on each other. Right? Forest fire is one of those things. There are going to be forest fires all over the place. So that's one reason you may have to leave your little slice of heaven right here. Another reason, as I film this, is occurring right now off our eastern coast. Hurricanes. A hurricane could make you have to leave. It could be a bad hurricane. Who here thinks that the weather is going to get worse as time goes on? I think it's already getting worse, right? Oh, I just thought of another one. I'll add that to number 4. The weather's already getting worse. But a big hurricane could come and wipe your place flat off the ground if you live in hurricane zone. And hurricane zone, you know, is a couple hundred miles, right? Around the east and southern coast, Gulf Coast, for the most part. It can happen all the way up to New York. So if you're in that band, a hurricane could destroy your little slice of heaven. Which, my goodness, ragweed's out right now. Which, there are a lot of good things to recommend if you have a plan and a boat, a seagoing boat and stuff like that to be near the coast. There's a lot of problems on the coast for a bug out location. So hurricane is one. What about a tornado? Right, so I don't live in hurricane zone, Pastor Joe, and there's no woods around me. If there's no woods around you, I question why you want to bug out there. But I don't live in a hurricane zone. What about tornadoes? Tornadoes affect this part of the world. Tornadoes affect this part of the country, you know, or as you're looking at it. What if something has happened to force you to occupy your bug out location, and then a tornado comes and destroys, you know, it goes through your barn and your house. Woof! Flattens it, scatters it over the next 6 counties. And your world didn't get any easier. Ain't nobody coming to help you. And, you know, chaos is still going on around you. You need another place to go, man. You know, the whole reason we have bug out locations is so we don't have to make a house out of sticks, you know, like some bushcrafter. Right? So a tornado could destroy everything you have. Number 4, stay up there. I better take this off, it's getting a little windy, hold on. Number 4, I wrote sinkhole. Some places of the country, these sinkholes are opening up. You ever read about the rebellion of Korah? Sinkholes happen. What if a sinkhole opens up underneath your place? Where are you gonna go? And then what I'm gonna add to that, so I still only have a dozen. Earthquakes. You know, there shall be earthquakes in diverse places. There's going to be more and more and more earthquakes, and an earthquake could destroy your place. And again, if your place is destroyed, you need a new place, right? Right? And so you got to have a plan for that. If it's destroyed and the world is still continuing to descend ever more into chaos, where are you going to go? All right, so those are the natural ones, nature, right? Now let's look at some man-made ones. What about a house fire? Either accidental or on purpose. Your place burns to the ground. It could be on purpose. Could be your place, your shed, your barn, and every other little building you have on the place, and your field. Some bad guys come and throw Molotov cocktails all over everywhere. It's all burned. And yet and still, you are alive. What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? How are you gonna live? Pray your flight come not in winter or on the Sabbath day. But fire is a thing that could destroy. See, I know these things are hard to think about, right? It's like, man, I've poured my blood, sweat, and tears into this place. I don't want to contemplate something horrible happening to it and it all going away. It can all go away very quickly. That's life. That's human history, man. So house fire. Next one. Saw some, and by the way, here, let me just say it now. Today is what? Thursday. It's in the morning on Thursday. The 13th of September. I don't think this Florence hurricane's going to be horrible. The news wants it to be horrible because it gets people watching the news and coming to the news and stuff. But I don't think it's going to be that bad. But it could be. One of the things I saw them talking about is the nuclear power plants that are in the path of the hurricane. Do you think that in a hurricane zone, the government has taken plans to prepare for potential direct strikes by hurricanes on a nuclear power plant? They have. But, you know, in times of chaos, the human factor gets reduced to almost nothing. There could also be bad actors, whatever. Nuclear power plants could melt down. If a nuclear power plant melts down and you are in the radiation zone, I'm not, PJ, okay? You're not according to current weather patterns. Things have a way of changing. Do you know about weather modification? Do you think that's real? Do you think the enemy could use it or we could use it? I'm just saying. I mean, you know, there's always a chance, is what I'm saying. You're asking for reasons why you would have to have an alternate bug out location. I'm giving you a dozen. One of those is nuclear power plants melting down and all that gobbledygook coming towards you. And then another one that we trained for as fire. So that was 6 reasons. Number 7. I need some more coffee. I'd love to tell you it's a blood-curdling story, but I'm feeling a mite parched. Anybody know what movie that's from? All right, number 7. Reason why you might have to leave your little slice of heaven, your location, your retreat. I'm not going to call it leave your bug out location, although if you move to another location, you could have to leave that too. Chemical spill. Rails and trucks carry the most amazingly dangerous stuff on them all throughout our country, and the people are blissfully unaware. If one of those things were to catastrophically tip over, worse is a train if many tanks are breached, but even a truck, and that stuff starts going, you could be in the zone. You could be in the zone for that, and you would have to leave now. And the situation in the world or the region or the country at the time could be such that you're not going to be able to check into a hotel, Motel 6. You're going to have to go somewhere because it's a scary world out there. So chemical spill is number 7. All right. Yeshua, Jesus said, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. But don't be afraid, the end is not yet. But there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. Nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And you think you're immune to that because you live in Kansas? Lots of people have thought they lived in the middle of empire and were totally safe from any invading hordes until all of a sudden the Huns showed up, or the Mongols showed up, or the Angles or the Saxons showed up, you know? Come on, the Moors, the Hittites, the Zulus. People talking about South Africa. The Zulus stole the land from everybody down there. Should we steal it back from them? Come on. I'm digressing. I'm not going to go there. We have a lot to cover. Number 8, nuclear war or terrorism fallout. Fallout. Fallout is coming in huge numbers to your area. You can stay and try and live through it and get sick and take 20 years off your life, or you can bug out crosswind over here to another location. Move ops. You could get 3 inches, you won't. 3 inches of fallout all over your land. It'll be uninhabitable forever. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, man. You got to have another place to go now. So fallout, either by nuclear war or terrorism. Enemy invasion. There, that's the one I was alluding to. That is number 9, by the way. Enemy invasion. The Chinese rolling through your AO. Well, if that happens, then it's all lost. See, people default to it'll never happen, and then if it does happen, well, there's nothing you can do then anyway. That's totally not true. You know, the U.S. Army coalition, the U.S. Army, even at the height, was not everywhere in Afghanistan or Iraq. We weren't everywhere blowing stuff up and shooting people. There were huge swaths of places where we weren't. Those would probably be a cool place to be as a civilian, where people aren't fighting, right? Where bombs aren't going off and jets aren't going by dropping stuff and, you know, artillery and, well, oh my. So yeah, the military could invade. Another foreign military could invade. They're not going to invade the whole country all at once. There will be safer areas, which is why your bug out location for any of these reasons can't be 6 miles away. Your alternate bug out location, whatever you want to call it. It can't be just a few miles away. It has to be far enough away from where you are now to get you out of what's making you have to leave here. Too many people think I have this job in the suburbs, and when everything goes crazy, I was going to say another phrase, when everything goes crazy, I'm going to go to my bug out location. Okay, well, that's a bad plan. You should be there already. But okay, so that's what you think. And then you think, well, nothing, you know, if the enemy goes there, stuff can happen. You don't know. The enemy could decide that little slice of national forest or country village is right in the way of where they want to put their corridor. Quick little story, Desert Storm, we did what was called the left hook across trackless desert that no one goes through, man. You can't navigate in there. And so to do that, we had to go in and clear the area in advance, you know, reconnaissance, clear the area in advance of our forces coming through to make sure we don't get hung up on anything crazy. There were a few, not many, but there were a few people out there. They knew no one was ever coming out there to bother them because we're out here in the middle of nowhere, man. Yeah, until a whole army came through, right? Stuff happens, man. Invading armies, you can't tell them where to go. So that's one. That is 9. Number 10, government relocation. This can happen in peacetime too, but in a military context, let's say we are in some kind of war. Could be a civil war, could be a war against a foreign invader, and the military decides that for operational purposes, we need to get our population out of this area so that we can conduct ops in here, and we don't want to kill Pastor Joe Fox because he's a cool guy. So hey, PJ, load up on the truck, you get 1 bag, let's go. You got to move, man. They're going to move you one way or another, right? You're not fighting the 82nd Airborne with your little militia mag, right? It's not happening. And so you're going to have to go. Then they're going to put, see, this is that thinking, right? And I know you guys don't think this way a whole lot, but a lot of people on YouTube go here, and I'm kind of sensitive to it. Okay, so you say you never have to leave. I just told you a reason you have to leave. The government's going to relocate you. I blow up your idea that you'll fight the government and resist them, so you are going. And then you're like, well, then fine, then there's nothing you can do because they're going to put me in a FEMA camp and I can't get away. Not necessarily. They're going to say, you got to leave Sector Bravo. We'll take you to this place, or, you know, we'll get you out of the zone. You can go wherever you want. You know, it's still a free country to a degree. You can go to Ohio if you want. Sure, make your way there. That's why refugees move all over the world. The government could relocate you. The government can relocate you now. What do they call that? Eminent domain. Out here in this beautiful little part of the Ozarks, there's a big old highway. It used to be called 71. Now it's called 49. They're going to eventually make that a UN highway, by the way. Woo, conspiracy theory, going from Baton Rouge to Winnipeg, right? Another whole thing there. And recently they decided they were going to bypass a town in northern Arkansas. Because the way it went through this little town. You had to hit these stoplights. And so they're building, I guess as you're looking at it this way, they're building a huge bypass through the countryside of what was just like countryside, right? Where people, probably preppers out there thinking no one will ever come out here, man. Well, now they're telling people you got to move. We're taking your land. Here's some money for it. Get going, or worse even, because at least they get money to relocate, right? If they're putting the highway on their land. Worse is if you're on the piece of property right next to it but not on it, and so they don't do anything except build a 8-lane highway right across your front pasture, and don't give you anything because that's how it is. Hey, stuff happens, man. People get relocated all the time, and so you may be relocated, and you should probably have a plan B on where you're gonna go. All right, that was number 10. Number 11, I have chem bio attack. It's kind of like nuclear war, but it's not. There could be a chemical, biological attack. I know they're different. Trust me, I know they're different, but I'm just lumping them together for brevity. There's persistent and non-persistent chemical agents. I just have this fear. It's not really fear, I'm not afraid, but it's a good word. concern that if the people in the Redoubt, and I've always had it, before it was named the Redoubt by Rawls, they get too uppity, I could see persistent chemical agents being spread all over that place. Just making it uninhabitable. I don't know why. Sure, they could do it here too. I just don't, you don't have the militant feel in the Ozarks that you do in the Redoubt. I'm a free citizen, sovereign on the land, or whatever they say. You know, that's here, but you don't see it the same. I'm digressing again. Chemical biological attacks. It could be, you know, a horrible flu is spreading, or bird flu or something. It's going to go everywhere, man. Not necessarily. There could be a region that is affected. Quarantine things could go up, whatever. I don't know. But that's real things that will depopulate areas, which will make your place untenable. Chemical biological warfare. And then the last one is kind of related to invasion, but not necessarily so, and that is what I call warlordism. In the absence of a duly governed authority, you know, the United States government as exercised through federal, state, and local governments, in the absence of that, government is still going to form. It's not going to be Shangri-La and we all get to hold hands and skip around because nobody's telling us what to do. Oh, no, 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 mon frere. That is not the way of things. Power will surge into that vacuum. Someone will assert control. Count on it. As TJ says, could be a benevolent dictator. That's not a problem. Could be an evil, wicked dictator who seizes power and decides he wants your daughter and wife for his harem, or he wants you for his harem, and, you know, shoots your husband or boyfriend, and has the means and the ability to enact his will. Power. What good is having power if you don't exercise it? Warlordism. It could get nasty where you are. And so you have a choice, fight or flee. You always have a choice, fight or flee. If you're a prepper, if you're a survivalist, your goal should be to survive. You should not compromise your integrity to survive. But, dude, there's no sense drawing a line around your property and saying, this far and no further, you bastards. It's a piece of chunk of dirt, man. I don't care what you've done to it. Move to another chunk of dirt. All right, so that's 12 or 13 if you count my first reason. Reasons why you may have to leave wherever you are. Again, as I was making this video, it hit me. I think I know the causal factor of this whole thought process in some of y'all. I can't imagine why I'd ever have to leave. And that is because you think of bugging out differently than what bugging out is for. You think bugging out is what you do to save you when chaos comes, as plan A. And so when the world goes crazy, I'm going to my little cabin on the lake, right? Everything will be hunky-dory there. So you think about it like that, and you think, I've picked this place because it's perfect. And then your brain doesn't want to go there after that. You always have to have a bug-out plan. Always. I think I've said this in another video, but if not, here's a little tidbit. When you are patrolling, when one is patrolling, that means we are walking through the woods with guns in a sketchy situation. There could be bad guys out there. There may be bad guys out there. Whatever. We have to maintain security while we go, and it's a multi-day operation, and so at some point we got to lay down and sleep, right? You always establish security. Another whole long thing. I did it in the defensive patrolling class, which I may be running again this spring, by the way. But one thing before you lay down, everybody has to know where we're going if they wake up in the middle of a firefight. You know, you wake up and RPGs are going off and tracers are zipping through, you know, green tracers all over, and it's like, run away, run away. You know, if you have to do that, where are you going? That's a bug out plan. Everybody knows. They already set it on their GPS or their compass or whatever, so even if I bail out that way and Bob bails out that way, we're both going to end up going where we have to go. That's called a rally point. You know what we also have? alternate rally points in case the first rally point is untenable. Ooh. Same thing with bug out places. You got to have a plan where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, and what you're going to do when you get there, no matter where you are. I submit, if you're good, you'll have more than one plan. Those are my reasons. I'm sure there's more. Feel free to comment at will, converse with each other. Let's get this thing going. I'm not the be-all, end-all on this stuff. You guys know more. But don't tell me you'll never have to bug out. And if you tell me you're not gonna bug out, you're just gonna die right there, okay, well, then why do anything? I'm gonna do this much, but after that, I just can't contemplate preparing anymore. If there's a will, there's a way. If you want to do it, you can make it happen. All right, I'll see you out there.